Okay, then we can go for a very simple topic. So that is nothing but like virtual objects. Okay. uh, Let us assume I am planning to come up with one automation tool for Java application. Java application is there. Sorry. Okay. For the Java application, I am planning to come up with automation tool like QTP. So, in Java application, what all are the tools available? What all are the standard classes available? Like edit box, push button, combo box, list box, like that. Okay. So, like that 10 standard classes available. So, by considering those 10 standard classes, I will come up with my automation tool, right? But this IT industry is dynamic. So when you will get advanced technologies, you are not sure. So in such a manner, what happened was, in your Java application, they were introduced new technology, a new object. Okay. So, but if that is the situation, QTP cannot identify that new object whatever they introduced, right? So QTP cannot identify that object, but I have to automate that functionality. So only because of the small reason I cannot stop with my automation, right? Okay, but QTP cannot identify that object. If that is the situation, are there any alternatives? Right, alternatives are there. Okay, so some of the object in your application not identifying by QTP tool means what you can do is you can map that unrecognized object to one of the standard class and perform your automation activities. That is nothing but virtual object. Okay. Okay, so the thing here is like some of the objects in your application not identifying by your QTP tool. So at that time, with the help of virtual object concept, what you can do is you can map that unrecognized object to one of the standard class and you can perform your automation activities. So that is nothing but like virtual objects. Okay, so so this is the object. Let us suppose I go for my Gmail. I have to get that situation means it's really very difficult. So what I do is I will try to create that situation and come up with automation. Okay. Okay, let us suppose this sign in button not identifying by your QTP tool. Okay, so that is latest technology they were introduced, so it's not identifying by your QTP tool. So this one I have to map it as a virtual object and I can perform my automation activities. So how I configure? So that one you have to configure as a virtual object means it's very simple. You go insert no, not insert, tools menu, virtual objects. You can directly create new virtual objects from here, or you can go to virtual object manager. From there also you can create your virtual objects. Okay, so the existing ones I will try to delete. Okay, So you have to create virtual object means new. Remember, you have to map that unrecognized object to one of the standard class. Means you have to configure. Means you will try to follow 4 different steps. Okay. So to which standard class you have to map. So whatever the object is not identified by your QTP tool, that object to which standard class you have to map. Okay. So it's not possible to map all the standard classes. There are horizontal scroll bar, vertical scroll bar, web element, like that. So many are there, but it's not possible. Only few it will allow you to map. Okay. So those are nothing but like object, button, table, list, combo box, and radio button. So these are the 6 objects you can map. Okay. Other than this you cannot configure. Okay. That is what one limitation you have for your virtual object. Okay. So to which standard class you have to map. So I am choosing button. Okay. Button. Next. So you have to first step is you have to configure means you have to follow 4 steps, right? So first step is to which standard class you have to map, and second step is you have to show your QTP tool, right, in your application. Okay. So that is nothing but like mark object. Okay. So mark object. So you have to choose the location. Once you drag and drop, right click. Once you drag and drop, right click. Okay. So once you give right click, it will select like coordinates. Then this is second step. Okay. For developing this page, developer could have used some hierarchy, right? So only parent you have to identify or entire parent hierarchy. Remember, it's always best practice to go with entire parent hierarchy. Okay. So just try to select that one. Then what is third step is you have to give name for that virtual object. So the name is sign in. Okay. Button sign in. And fourth step is you have to add it to some collection. Okay. Means all push buttons you will add it to push button collection. All radio buttons you will add it to radio button collection, right? So like that, for each and every collection you can okay. So push buttons, one group you can select, all push buttons you can add it to that push button, all radio buttons to that radio button collection. Like that you can create one collection and add that object to that collection. So to which standard class you have to map, and what are the boundaries. So what is the name of that object, and to which collection you have to use, you have to add that object. Okay. So these are the different steps you will try to follow. Then if you want to create one more object means you can go for yes, no, this is enough for me. Okay. Then finish it up. That's it. Okay. So this is the way you can come up with configuring unrecognized object to one of the standard class. One of the standard class you can map. Then okay, normally it was recorded, right? It haven't considered virtual object. So tools, options, okay, disable recognition of virtual objects while recording. This was the option I have unchecked. I have checked. That's why it's disabled virtual object identification. No, during recording I have to enable. Means you can come for tools, options, and here you can uncheck this option. That means you are enabled virtual objects recording. Now if you go and record, fine. Oh, it was not considering, right? Again. It was taken same. And actually, the thing is, this is not a good example for virtual objects. Okay, just a second. No, it's not recording. This is the problem with your QTP. Okay, we try to configure for calculator application. Just a second. Let it take default values. Okay, let me record it up. Okay, what I do is I'll try to go for virtual object for this object, this window. Okay, so new 4 steps you have to perform. So what are those 4 steps? So you have to mark the object, so you have to select, so OK button. Let it take default values. Okay, so let me record. No, yeah, it has taken virtual button, right? Okay, it has taken virtual button, so like that it will work it. Okay, so this is the way you can go for. Okay, so it has taken virtual button, so like that it will try to record. So now what I do is if I go for like tools, options, and here if I check, that means I am disabling recognition of virtual objects. Okay, so now if I record, okay, click on OK button, this OK button. Okay, so again I'm clicking OK button. Okay, so if you go for QTP, okay, so window button is taken easy. Now it has taken window button, right? So why? I have disabled recognition virtual object during runtime and record time. Okay, that's why it has taken as window button. Okay, so like that it will work out. Okay, so there are some limitations for your virtual objects. Those limitations are: you cannot insert checkpoints for virtual objects, you cannot insert synchronization points for virtual objects. Okay, so meanwhile the main advantage of automation is like it needs to be executed in multiple environments and multiple releases, right? So at that point of time, let us suppose you may get a chance to execute in other computers, right? So but you are recorded in this, you are created virtual objects in this computer. Okay, so okay, so what will happen is while creating virtual objects within your computer, it will try to create some templates. So this is the folder wherever you created in your, wherever your QTP got installed, in that quick test professional, that folder vivo template. In this folder, so these are the three I have created, right? Three virtual objects, three virtual groups I have created. If I go here in virtual object manager, so tools, virtual objects, virtual object manager, see three, those three here it was created, you see. Okay. So these virtual template also you have to copy along with your script to another computer, then only your virtual script works, otherwise it doesn't work. This is one more important point you have to remember for your virtual objects. Okay, so this is nothing but like your virtual objects. Okay, you never get a chance. Why? Means there are so many alternatives. What are those alternatives? I will explain you once our QTP finishes. So as of now, you can remember this is the stuff. Okay, so idea is very simple. Some of the objects in your application not identifying by your QTP tool, those one you can configure to one of the standard object and you can perform your automation activities. Okay, so that is nothing but like virtual objects. Any questions, anybody? No questions? Okay, no questions means we can end up our session. Thank you so much for your time. Okay, we'll meet up same time tomorrow again. Okay, that's fine. Thanks for your time. Yeah, see you, friend. Bye.